Hi, welcome to Bible History Man. Assyria has fallen, and now the area of the Levant, where the children of Israel live in the land of Judah, is undergoing a great war as Egypt and Babylon fight over who is going to be the new master of the area. And it's really unfortunate for Judah because they're like a teddy bear being grabbed by two pit bulls and getting fought over. The Egyptians are much, much nearer. And yet the Babylonians are far more dangerous, and the Egyptians will not be able to protect them. To compound matters, the following kings are going to be extremely wicked. We're going to have kings like Manasseh, who are going to not only be as wicked as the kings of Judah, they're going to be even more wicked. They're going to look into the cultic practices of pagan nations, and they're going to adopt them. The temple in Judah is no longer going to be pure. It's going to be filled with idols from other nations and from the native ones, Asherah poles. People of Judah are going to tell themselves that God would never let Jerusalem fall because he's going to protect his temple. The temple, the temple, the temple. So we can get away with anything we like because we got God's arm directly behind his back. But as it turns out, they didn't have God's arm behind his back. The new Chaldean dynasty in Babylon was founded by a guy named Nabonidus. And Nabonidus was the one who took the city of Babylon and kept it, and then proceeded to lead his army in battle against the Assyrians and took part in the siege of Nineveh. And after they broke the power of the Assyrians, Nabonidus himself decided to go home. He was getting old, he was getting tired, but he sent his son down to follow Egypt and to pacify the area. Now, when Necho defeated Joash, he is going to replace him with Jehoiakim. And Jehoiakim is going to be his puppet. Well, when the son of Nabonidus, a guy named Nebuchadnezzar, shows up, he's going to put the entire place underneath tribute. And that's going to include Jehoiakim. Now, Nebuchadnezzar isn't going to stay long because he's going to find out that his father has died. And he's going to have to go back and take the throne. But before he goes, he's going to pick up some hostages to ensure the good behavior of Judah. This is the first captivity, and in this captivity, they are going to take Daniel and his friends and some of the other youth. So the first captivity is where Daniel and Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael are going to get taken in and joined into the service of Nebuchadnezzar. He's going to go home, and he's going to then consolidate power by fighting with everybody around him. Meanwhile, Jehoiakim's son, Jehoiakim, I know they're very similar, but this is the one with the CH instead of the K. Jehoiakim is going to rebel against Babylon, which is going to anger Nebuchadnezzar, and he's going to come by, and he's going to seize the city. And he is going to take Jehoiakim captive, and he's going to seize large swaths of the royal family, and he's also going to take a bunch of leading citizens and Ezekiel. So it is at this time that Ezekiel is going to be taken in the second captivity. But the third time, that one's the charm. Now, not only is Zedekiah not a very good king, but most people still consider Jehoiakim to be the king, even though he's in exile. So Zedekiah is going to try something different. He's going to try rebelling against Babylon and seeing how that works. Well, as it turns out, it doesn't work. And that's going to bring Nebuchadnezzar, and it's going to bring a big siege. And after they take the city, they are going to burn Jerusalem to the ground, along with the temple, which is so full of idols. A large proportion of the people of Jerusalem are going to be deported to Babylon. Those that aren't deported, a great many of them are going to flee to Egypt. And after this, there are going to be sizable populations of Jews living in both Babylon and in Egypt. And that's going to go on for hundreds of years after this. Now, Jeremiah is one of the primary prophets of this time. Initially, he's going to warn the people of Judah to stop being so wicked or God is going to judge them. And then he warns them that they're going to need to submit to Nebuchadnezzar because God is going to judge them. And it's not going to hurt as much if they submit to Nebuchadnezzar. And then they abuse him. And then Jeremiah is not going to be taken to Babylon along with the others. He's going to be dragged off to Egypt. And as far as we know, he's going to be murdered while he's in Egypt. But one of the primary things that you want to know about Jeremiah is the fact that he's going to, in that Song of Consolation, he's going to tell about something called the New Covenant. It's going to be a huge revelation, because unlike the Old Covenant, which the children of Israel broke, this New Covenant is God is going to put his law in their hearts, and he's going to cause them to obey. And he's going to forgive them, he's going to sprinkle them with clean water, and he's going to make them walk in his ways. And it's going to be wonderful. But at the time, nobody knew that it was going to be as wonderful as it turned out to be. Jeremiah is also going to talk about 70 years. 70 years that they're going to be in captivity. And it's going to be 70 years from that first captivity we talked about. And after 70 years, there's going to be a new empire that's going to come. That's going to allow the children of Israel to return to Judah and to be restored to the land. In God's mercy, he's going to raise up a new ruler. A ruler as unlike the Assyrians as you can possibly imagine. A guy named Cyrus. But the children of Israel are going to have to stay in captivity for 70 years so they can learn to do away with all that idolatry. Well, that's another one of my episodes. Thank you so much for watching the whole way. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I love to answer questions. And if you're interested in it, I would love to talk about it. Also, if you have any other ideas about things that I could tell you about biblical history, I'm always open to suggestions, because it's what you want to hear that I would like to talk about. Now, if you like biblical history, like I like biblical history, or even a fraction as much as I like biblical history, I have a book out called A Helpful Handbook of Hebrew History. And it's available on WisePath Books or Amazon.com, and the links are in the comments below. Now, I would recommend that you would read a book instead of listening to videos all the time, because as an educator, I know it's much better for your brain, especially if you're not an adult yet. If you're still a youth, your brain is better if you read. So I would recommend that you read that book.